Yo, guys, how is everybody doing? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Hope everybody's doing well, and welcome back to another daily market update. Can everybody hear me loud and clear, guys? Is the audio working properly? Fantastic. Well, glad to hear, guys. It's amazing to speak to all of you once again. Let me know if the background music is good as well and not too loud. Looking forward to another session here with all of us together. There was a little echo. I made sure that that is gone now. So we're just going to dive into the markets as always, see what is going on, and if we can identify any potential trade opportunities. Now, at the moment, I am looking at a long on USD fam. On USD. Let me just quickly get the right chart out. I want to update my charts. 1 second for myself. Because I'm looking at an USD long position. I just need to open it because I have it saved somewhere here. Yeah, so the position that I'm looking at here on USD is a 4-hour fractal continuation play. At the moment, sorry to kind of like jump into it all straight away. Am I looking at this order flow to continue pushing the market up higher? We can see we again retrace into these imbalance candles. Saw the overall upside push. Looking at the 1-hour time frame, also some nice price action. This for me here is more like a liquidity sweep instead of like a bearish fractal break. Looking to trade it, take out those highs soon. Little scalp here on the New York session. Grab the liquidity underneath this low nicely. I'm looking to kind of like buy this up higher from around let me see, I have it here open on my phone. 59845, something like this, yeah. On the high break, let me see. Yeah, something like this is what I'm looking at the moment to trade it with the momentum higher. Looking at some USD continuations. Amir, you are being banned, my friend. Banned from texting in the chat anymore. You have a 24-hour timeout. Classic, man. Always the idiots that have to spam the chat. Don't mean it in a bad way. But looking for some continuation plays, guys, here on USD. I mean, overall, a nice potential play here to push the market up higher. I'm looking at ultimately the daily time frame here. Daily currently fractal. I have to check this fractal if this is the correct one, because I don't think this is the correct fractal high. So we're still working on the overall fractal indicator. As you can see here, I have a fractal structure break indicator, which we're going to be releasing this month. I did a quick Discord announcement today, but waiting actually for, let me see. Yeah, no, this is the incorrect fractal low. So I'm going to have to check it. But overall, what I like about it more is the 4-hour time frame. Where I'm looking for this overall continuation play after what has been beautiful descending corrective price action here within the overall descending correction, and now looking to trade that overall bullish order flow up higher. I think we could see some momentum continue up higher. It's kind of like for me a hedge position against what I'm doing with euro dollar, because euro USD I see it pushing down lower, but I have a big swing position on euro USD. I'll dive into euro dollar in a second, because euro dollar is still very good, but it's like a big swing, you know, like the stop loss is very safely placed above the highs over here. So for me, there's no stress in euro USD, and like a short-term USD buy position could be a perfect hedge against that to make some short-term returns on that potential dollar bearishness. So I'll be looking to kind of like buy the high break over here on the 30 minutes and on the 15. I like what I'm seeing over there. So that's kind of like my game plan for this. Yeah, we're gonna dive kind of like into today, guys. Some interesting market updates for you. As always, we're looking at all the major dollar pairs, but in general, we're also looking at the other pairs as well. Euro USD, first of all, what I'm going to do here is give you guys a quick update on what we saw this morning and the reason for this morning's dumping towards the downside. We saw around a 40 pip dump, nothing too serious, but still obviously after kind of like sweeping this high, here we had like the push up, push down, push up, push down, push up, boom, push down. That's why at the moment, as long as kind of like this high over here is respected, I still see there being potential for EURUSD during this New York session to kind of like push down lower. The main reason that we saw some bearish pressure for the euro had to do with the Chancellor Merz. This guy here, Friedrich Merz, he was supposed to be or supposed to secure the majority in a secret ballot in the Bundestag to confirm him as the head of a ruling coalition of his center-right CDU/CSU bloc. So pretty much just this, to secure himself as the vice chancellor or as the chancellor of Germany, and to secure that kind of like political stability. However, he didn't get actually voted in with the right amount of votes, causing a lot of uncertainty overall for the euro. Hence why the euro pushed down lower this morning, but we've kind of like see a rebound up higher because on this news again, Merz to make a new bid on Tuesday. Or I have to read the whole article. I'm not fully informed, but I think there was some news that he's going to kind of like be re-elected, or that he has the potential to be re-elected. But you can see here Merz only managed 310 votes fewer than the required 316, and this for now has caused EURUSD to kind of like push down lower. But now again we're seeing a buy up on euro against the dollar. But again, I need to kind of like dive into that, so I'll do that after this live stream. More importantly, what I want you guys to be aware of is something that is very interesting, and that is the news surrounding the Swiss franc, because that is where currently the opportunity lies, in my personal opinion. I'm looking to trade the Swiss and sell the Swiss franc. So you can see here the Swiss franc really strengthened a lot, says the SNB, so the Swiss National Bank. So overall, what we're looking for now are potential shorts on the Swiss franc, because we can see that primarily dollar Swiss is at a decade low. So that means that the Swiss franc has appreciated against the dollar like really crazy in the last few weeks/months. Obviously here we can see that we're pretty much at the lowest point since 2015. So overall, it seems like the Swiss National Bank is going to intervene here on dollar Swiss. They've also been mentioning that they might put interest rates all the way back down to zero or even into negative territory. So what happens when interest rates go into a negative territory? You get paid to borrow money, right? So at the moment, what I'm looking for is kind of like a carry trade here on the dollar against the Swiss franc, and to push USD Swiss up higher, because if interest rates are 0% in Switzerland, what will people do? People will borrow money at 0% and invest it in the United States against 4.5% interest rate. So they kind of like make a free 4.5% return on their money. And this means that they will sell their Swiss franc, because on the left they borrow in Swiss franc, and they're gonna buy the dollar with it. So this is obviously like billions and billions and billions of dollars or capital inflow into the dollar, causing dollar Swiss overall to appreciate in value, in my personal opinion. So that's kind of like the view that I have for dollar Swiss. So very happy to look at those dollar Swiss longs. This is also the main reason why we've seen the pound against the Swiss appreciate, for example, extremely heavily today. You can look here at the 1 hour time frame. We can see that since this morning we've been pushing up 100 pips here on pound Swiss. Also, if you look at, for example, ADCHF, you can see that since this morning we've also been appreciating to a certain extent, not massively whatsoever, but it is up for the day. Also, if we look at, for example, Euro Swiss, we saw some bullish pressure as well. So overall, looking for some shorts on the Swiss franc, and for longs on, for example, the dollar against the Swiss franc, hence why I'm in USD CHF. Furthermore, let's have a look at how do I borrow money from a Swiss bank? You need some billions. Guys, there is no price decided for this indicator. We're still working on just finishing the indicator, so no need. We're going to update you when that is finished. Aussie Swiss longs look good. Kelza, we all want to know, since you showed that this week. Okay, sir, I am going to go over all of the pairs, guys. Please do not cry in the chat. I'm here to support. as always. So myself is still in GBPUSD. We've seen a lot of strength from the pound since this morning. Overall, we're seeing a massive rally here on GBPUSD. We're pretty much breaking out of this range over here. So it's likely that we're going to kind of like take out these descending highs. So there's still some room for GBPUSD to appreciate. Overall, what I'm kind of looking at is maybe for another sweep of this high over here. We kind of look to form what is going to be an ascending pattern, maybe like a 1 2 3, and then look for kind of like a fake out on that second high, look for some slowdown, and then I'll be looking for some new shorts again at the overall highs. For now, it doesn't look very good for shorts in my opinion from here. I would wait for at least maybe this number 2 high over here to get taken out, and then we form somewhat of an ascending pattern after what was a very large overextended move in towards the highs. So looking for kind of like that corrective pattern now to form. So let's see if we can get maybe that fake out on the second high, and then I'll be happy to get into some new short positions here on GBPUSD. For myself, euro dollar, still looking at those shorts as long as the daily time frame respects the overall daily fractal high, which is obviously this black line over here. So as long as that is being respected, I'm still interested in shorts. For your knowledge, that is the current fractal high over here. So as long as that is respected, still looking for EURUSD short positions. Furthermore, on euro, not much to say actually. Here on the 1 hour time frame, yeah, I mean, it's fractal bearish at the moment, but there's just no real bearish momentum yet. I'm looking at the 15. I would say maybe wait for the 15-minute time frame to shift bearish again. Maybe wait for one more push down again, something like this, and then look for a short position. But I'm personally waiting for the 15-minute time frame to show me some more bearishness on EURUSD before any new potential shorts, because I do definitely see the potential for EURUSD to sell off. But we need the dollar index to kind of like play its part as well, right? Because the dollar index at the moment here is dropping like mad. I kind of highlighted this morning in the daily market outlook that this was a possibility, because if you look at the lower time frame being like the 1 hour time frame, what you can see here is that there are very clear ascending lows, right? So you see kind of like when you view this as a range, that we first of all sweep the range high over here, and then we sell off in towards the downside, and now it's very likely we're still going to see a little bit more of dumping on the dollar to take at this range low over here, and then we could start seeing somewhat of a rebound again. So that's kind of like what I'm looking at the moment over here. Then Sarab is asking a very good question, Fabio. Is this pump in the yen? Because people are shifting away from the Swiss franc to the only viable safe haven available right now. Even the Bank of Japan stance is a bit dovish, or is it just a usual pullback? So for everybody wondering, yeah, the Swiss yen, the Swiss against the Japanese yen has been pushing down lower. So ultimately what this means at the moment is that if you look at it from like Swiss against JPY perspective, let's say at this level here, it's like 1 to 2. Now, obviously here it's a 1 to 1.5. So this means that the yen is gaining strength, is becoming stronger against the Swiss franc. And the main reason for this indeed is because the Swiss National Bank is now talking about again reducing its interest rates, even going into negative territory for the interest rates. And the Japanese yen is still or has higher interest rates. And is keeping the interest rate stable as well at the moment. So it's likely, therefore, that people are now moving their money into Japanese yen, and why Swiss yen has indeed been dropping. So that's kind of like the main reason for the sell-off. From a technical perspective, not a massive fan of Swiss yen. Don't really see anything on this at the moment. I know that we kind of had this area of demand here to the left, but not a big fan of it. Will potentially or has the potential to even take out these ascending lows for now. So I wouldn't be looking for longs on Swiss yen. Euro USD has 3 relative higher lows that could sweep and then sell. So yeah, I understand what you mean. Indeed, it could still take out these kind of like descending highs over here before selling off. I think that is what you're referring to. So yeah, definitely if it kind of like goes there, then I'll also be looking at a potential shorting opportunity once again. Overall, still will make a lot of sense with the daily fractal structure still being intact at that point in time. So yeah, for myself, also still looking for those short positions. Fabio, from where did you learn all of this? YouTube and yeah, being on the charts every single day, guys. So recording videos of myself and talking to myself every single day. Dollar yen, looking for longs, but as I explained, we need bullish structure, guys. We're not getting anything from dollar yen at the moment in regards to bullish structure. Overall, obviously, it's inside a sell before buy here on the daily time frame. Current fractal low is currently positioned over here. This is a current fractal high, so it makes sense for it to push up higher. Now, what do? We don't just randomly buy, but we look at the lower time frame for potential confirmation for those longs, right? So what I'm now looking at here on dollar yen is for the order flow to shift. Here we have buy before the sell. Now here we have buy before the sell. So now what we need, guys, is for this to happen. We need a V-shaped reversal here. We need some bullish momentum to start kicking in. We need to break the current fractal high, and that is then the point when I'm going to get into buy positions on this. So yeah, waiting for that to start giving. Look at NZD/USD. Yeah, guys, NZD/USD is perfectly valid for further upside. So yeah, looking at it to push up higher myself. Yeah, would be nice. Would be nice. Yeah, no, it would be nice. Would be nice. Let's see if NZD/USD can push, guys. I'm in a buy on NZD/USD, so let's see how that plays out. Kind of like a hedge position against the euro. I like the 4-hour time frame a lot, and I'm kind of like targeting on the short term this high over here. That's kind of like what I'm looking to achieve in the short term for NZD/USD. So let's see how that plays out. Let's see how that plays out. How can I find the fractal indicator? It's still hidden and private. It's still being developed. I'll look into USD CAD in a second. Oil being rebounding like crazy. Interesting to see that's being bought up again. Obviously at a key level of support here. I'm on the wrong chart, to be honest. Let me see if I can get a better one. Yeah, here. So US oil obviously here at kind of like a key level of support. You can see kind of like the $55 to $57 a barrel is not really where it wants to move below. Could rebound from here. I don't personally trade oil a lot. It's very heavily attached to the news. But yeah, I don't really, I mean, I see some buying opportunities on oil, but overall not a pair that I really actively trade. So but looking at it from kind of like a higher time frame perspective, it makes sense to rebound a bit from this region. Let's have a look at areas of supply that could cause a potential reversal here in this overall downside push. Not fresh. Like I'm talking about the buy before the sells, right, or the imbalances. All of them are not fresh anymore to like really cause an overall reversal in towards the downside on AUD/USD. So for myself, it only still makes sense to kind of like continue pushing up higher. Looking at the daily time frame overall, like obviously also still bullish and in bullish order flow here on the daily. The sell before the buy, still pushing the market up higher. 4-hour time frame, also still inside demand. You can see it's pushing up from this bullish fractal structure. I discussed this morning as well. Still makes sense to push up higher AU. I don't see kind of like any key levels of reversal. Dollar is obviously still not that strong, and the Australian dollar does look a little bit better at the moment, together with the New Zealand dollar as well. That's why I'm also looking at that hedge on NZD/USD, running now at kind of like entry. So let's see if this wants to push up higher today. I'll be managing it quite aggressively, and let's see if any movements kind of like come into this thing. But yeah, for now, NZD/USD further in towards the upside, AUD/USD further in towards the upside makes sense for myself at least. Also here on NZD/USD, no real clear areas of supply here, so it should kind of like come to the, let's say, the initiation of liquidity level over here. You can kind of see the road starting. You can kind of see that in towards the downside start, and then from here it kind of like gets clean again. So I'm looking to take out all of those descending highs and see like one more push up on NZD/USD. At all, just making sure everything is well. Just making sure everything is well. Insert in inserted. Yep. Okay, for me everything works. Hope everything is working for you guys as well. Let's see how this plays out. Yep, looking good. For the rest, what can we look at? We can have a look at AUD CAD. I see somebody asking about AUD CAD. Let's have a look at AUD CAD. Pushing higher at the moment. What's the daily doing? Yeah, daily makes sense as well. Yeah, looking good, man. Looking good for some further upside still. But I'm more a fan of like an AUD-CHF, man. Like, I think there's a lot more potential for an AUD-CHF. We talked about this last week as well. I'm pretty sure we did, about longs from this orange zone. Who remembers? Is anybody in that, guys? Hope you are, because that is pretty much the most beautiful position that I've kind of like called in the recent week. You can already see that it's up, what? How many pips from those lows? Like around 100 pips. So around 100 pip move from this area of demand. Still looking for this to continue up higher. I still think this has so much room to go, guys. AUD-CHF. So looking for longs on AUD-CHF, looking for longs, or well, I am already in longs, by the way, on AUD-CHF, but I'm also in longs on NZD-CHF. Also still has a lot of room to move. I also discussed this last week, I think on Tuesday over here, where we were trading. Again, as long as this low is respected, it should continue pushing up higher. For myself, just makes a lot of sense to take out kind of like these descending highs. So looking for this to continue pushing up higher. And just simply said, respect the lows and respect this area of demand. So looking for those further upside longs on NZD-CHF as well. I'm in those buys already. So I'm in buys on AUD-CHF, NZD-CHF, USD-CHF, AUD-JPY, USDJPY, NZDJPY. So I'm just shorting the yen and I'm shorting the Swiss franc against the risk on pairs pretty much. That's what I'm in at the moment. Now we can have a look at gold as well. Gold is obviously rallying. We can see that the overall sentiment is pretty good for gold at the moment, in the sense that it's rallying so hard. Yesterday I mentioned in the daily market outlook that there was room for a potential short from this area of supply over here, if we got bearish confirmation breaking this 1 hour fractal low, because this was kind of like the liquidity sweep. This was the 1 hour fractal low. I was looking for something like this to take out all of these ascending lows over here. Never happened. Bullish momentum continued, and we've been rallying ever since. Now that we've taken out pretty much the range high, or the descending start point, so which is kind of like this high over here. You can see as well exactly when we reach that high over here. That is when kind of like the market starts reacting to that other high over there. I'm looking for that to kind of like initiate a potential pullback. So this morning I was looking indeed for a liquidity sweep over here. So now what I want to see is like on this double top of liquidity with the early sellers getting stopped out. Now I want to see bearish momentum come in to take kind of like a short to take out these descending or ascending lows. So that's what I'm looking for on gold at the moment. Yeah, kind of like a short-term short position again to take out some of those lows before then potentially heading up higher once again. Does it need to retrace? No, obviously not, but that would be nice, and that is what I'm looking at. GBPUSD, extremely bullish. Daily time frame pushing up. At the moment, daily demand is obviously in control here with the overall sell before the buy. Current fractal low being respected as well. Looking for this to push up higher from the overall imbalance, and for the market just to continue up higher. So let's see if we can get that upside on GBPUSD. Going into the 4 hour time frame, we've now seen the 4 hour fractal shift as well. Overall sell for the buy is in control, with this overall being your sell for the buy. So yeah, looking for that to continue pushing the market up higher. Also from the 1 hour perspective as well. Yeah, I mean, looks pretty good, GBPUSD. I mean, we're seeing a lot of strength from the pound itself. On Thursday, we have pound interest rate decisions. So let's see if anything interesting is said there. Friday morning at 10:40, we have the Bank of England governor speaking, and that should also contribute to the overall movement of the pound. But obviously, somebody's expecting some bullishness from the pound. Aussie yen shorts. Not looking for Aussie yen shorts myself. Personally, I'm just a bit too bullish on the Australian dollar at the moment. Looking more for continuation plays. I would only be interested in Aussie yen shorts once we break the current fractal low here on the daily time frame. Until then, for me, this is just another buying opportunity inside this daily area of demand. So I would prefer that daily area of demand to continue pushing the market up higher and to take out these 3 descending highs. Once those 3 descending highs are taken out, that is when I'll be starting to get interested more in some shorting opportunities and to be a little bit more aggressive. But yeah, for now, looking for some more longs. If we break the current fractal low, then I'll be looking for some shorts again. But until that's respected, longs for me are the main thing to check in on. GBPJPY, I know some of you want to see that as well. GJ, currently fighting in between supply and demand. Personally, not really in any positions on this. Look, demand is in control here, and we've been reacting off of supply. So I would be looking to see the current fractal low get broken and then look for sells. Otherwise, this still has the potential to push it up higher. So until then, I would sit on my hands on GJ. So Hards Villa. Hey Fabio, I understood with the technical purpose that the dollar index will head up higher. Apart from by looking at the current fundamentals, China deal is far away from what are blah 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 blah. So yes, there is not necessarily a deal between China and the United States that is currently causing the dollar to push down lower, obviously. So current pressure in towards the downside on the dollar is coming from what? It's coming from the fact that there's still no trade deal with China. But what you have to understand is that, one, the labor market in the United States is still very, very strong, and that inflation is also not necessarily soaring. Inflation is pretty much at the levels that we expect it to be, which is now causing the Federal Reserve not to lower interest rates. So the interest rates in the United States are still relatively high when you compare it to the rest of the world. Interest rates in the United States are still sitting at 4.5%. So if you compare that to Switzerland, for example, which is already talking about negative interest rates, right? So 0.5 minus, that means that you can borrow and get paid in Switzerland and then invest in the United States for an interest rate differential, which just means a difference in interest rate of 5%. That means 5% kind of like free money. And hence why I think there is some potential for the dollar to push up higher. I also see the dollar kind of like as oversold, and I would like to see some more upside movements, but I could be wrong. I agree, kind of like long term, definitely dollar down, but I'm just looking for a little bit more of a bounce, man, on the dollar. Why is your screen yellow? Why is your name pink here on YouTube? Like, because I like my background. Looking here at the weekly time frame, it makes sense to continue pushing up higher. Also here, if we look at the past, what has happened is that often it's just a given fact that when you have an area of accumulation and you swipe the overall accumulation low, there is at least somewhat of a bigger bounce in towards the upside. I'm just looking for something similar here. I want to see some more upside, at least, for example, in towards this overall area of supply before looking for any further downside from that thing, man. So that's what I'm looking for. Guys, we only have 100 likes here on the stream, man. I'm kind of disappointed, actually. Would really, really, really appreciate if we can get some more likes, guys, on the stream. Otherwise, I'll just delete Entity USD. Let me just delete the Entity USD trade if we don't get enough likes, man. I need at least 250 likes, man. Come on, guys. We're taking out the Entity USD trade. Not enough likes on the stream. I'm very, very sad. Very, very, very sad. Let's see what else. Euro USD. So Euro USD, SMT, dollar index, EU. I don't know what the bloody fuck SMT is, guys. Not entirely sure what that is. Sorry for my language, by the way. But it is kind of like how I can just be myself and talk. Please, when you look at Russell, why don't you use the sessions? Because I swing trade on the higher time frame. Samir, hope you are good, brother. Hope you are doing well. I've been well as well. Is there a way that you can teach SMT? No. We don't talk about SMT, guys. Where can I find the fractal break indicator? It's going to be released in the near future inside Discord. Link in the description of this stream. Here you can join, by the way. Giveaways are being hosted over there. We have quite a few coming up as well. So make sure to join. Thanks for the like, guys. Appreciate you so much. Do you take entries if it happens in Asia? Yes, I do, Dave. Thank you, Elizabeth Williams. It means a lot. Appreciate all of you. Don't worry, guys. I really appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, for now, it's a waiting game. I only see kind of like opportunity on entity USD. For the rest, USDJPY obviously just closed strong bearish once again on the 4-hour time frame. Need to see somewhat of this happen for any potential longs to take place. So yeah, longs are kind of like far away from us at the moment. For the rest, EURUSD still an interesting short here on the daily time frame, but it needs to give us some lower time frame confirmation. Yeah, pretty much that, guys. Pretty much that. Any other interesting pairs, guys? NZD/USD will hit our stop loss or your stop loss. It's down for liquidity. Okay, Soip. Thanks for letting me know, brother. It's very educational, guys. Always educational. GBPUSD short soon. Yeah, I mean, what I'm kind of looking at on GU is for it to maybe just make another high, man. I think that it has the potential to maybe take out that second high over here and then potentially look for like a deeper drop. This is not the strongest area of supply. I mean, it is supply. It could push the market down lower, but it's not very strong. So not a big fan of it personally. But yeah, guys, I'm going to go and fix the Wi-Fi because the Wi-Fi is really bad here. So let me see. I don't want these lags in the sessions anymore. It's kind of like annoying me as well. Last of all, we need to discuss USD CAD, by the way. We didn't discuss that one. USD CAD is consolidating like a barcode, to be very honest. The next lecture, by the way, on the fundamentals is going to be on Thursday. I have another beautiful presentation for you guys coming up. It's going to be a real good one. So you definitely do not want to miss the live stream on Thursday. Again, 2:30 Central Eastern Time. But yeah, USD CAD overall slow and steady in towards the downside. I mean, interested in longs, but again, do I want to be entering inside of a range? Not really. Maybe if it kind of like sweeps the lows one more time, I'll kind of like just place a buy here at the lows again. It is already kind of like at the low of the range if you view it kind of like this. So I mean, anything kind of like near here is pretty much just a good buy. Obviously, it could head down lower, but I kind of like what we're seeing. Or if you kind of like want a little bit more certainty, you could also just kind of like look to buy it on the breakout of the current fractal high, something like that on the daily time frame, and then kind of like look to at least trade it back up to the high of the range, and then there, or once the market's there, you put it to break even, or you're just getting kind of like here at the lows, place a little bit of a wider stop loss, and then you can see that you're already near like a 1 to 2 risk to reward very fast if it gets those highs. Yeah. No worries, guys. The fractal indicator will be launched very soon. Thanks, guys, so much. Thursday, we are going to be doing the live presentation here again on the stream. So make sure to be there. Thursday is going to be a good one. Let's see how NZD/USD performs into the New York session. Yeah, appreciate you all, and we'll be speaking soon. And thanks for joining the stream once again, guys. Appreciate you.